big rifle. You know we have big guns. Big hot rifle. Yes, 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 yes. Those of you with post notifications, I hope you find your way to this video. No. Right. No. Right. No. Find your way to the live stream right. No. I'm not here to play with anybody, Ross. Will pick me. Find your way to the live stream right. No. Tap in with me. Tap in with me. Little excitement. A little excitement. Come on, man. Come on. This is raw reaction, and we're gonna jump into a little WNBA mock draft as well. Pile in. Tap in. Come on, man. I'm not even wasting any time. I don't have any March Madness games that I'm trying to check out. Filled out my bracket a little too late. I got one bracket in. Damn, why do I feel so close? Oh, hold on. What the fuck? I got one. Is my chair stuck? Okay. I don't know why I feel so close. I got one March Madness bracket in, so I don't know how that's gonna go. It was such a 11:59 type bracket. I don't know how that's gonna go, but I feel this is like hella sweet. Hold on. This feels like really sweet. I know it's natural sugars, but this that's getting super sweet. I probably add some added sugar. I had to check real quick. Added 1 gram of added sugar. Maybe that added sugar kicking the hell in. Anyway, I got a little cram bracket in. I don't know if that's gonna hit really. I didn't really have the time to process everything, but I think who's Michigan State playing? I think Michigan State's playing right now. I think Michigan State could be due for an upset if Tennessee's ranked lower than NC State. I think Tennessee is going to win that game. I think Tennessee is going to go on some dark horse run-ish, but just for the next 2 rounds because they've had such a bad season. So next thing you know, they turn it around in March Madness. That's the story I was thinking of for them when I was making the bracket. So even though I was rushing, I had Tennessee winning two rounds. I think they beat NC State, and CS Buffalo might beat Michigan State because Michigan State has been kind of moving sorry for a lot of the season. Michigan State should have been a lot better than they were. I don't know how you just only end up with Grace Van Slooten on the team with no help. So makes me question what y'all doing in recruitment. But anyway, without further ado, we got some good news. WNBA CBA has been officially signed by both parties, and I believe now they're waiting for the player to bring it to the players for a vote. This will be interesting because I don't think if they're waiting on the player vote, I don't think there are going to be many players that reject it unless they're on some light level type observation timing. So I think that this new CBA is going to be ratified and good to go. Excuse me, that's my best bet. Jeez, excuse me. But anyway, classy ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Hendrix. This live stream, as you all figured out, I am going to do a little bit of mock draft in it as well. But first, I want to not break down, but this is my live reaction to the new CBA. I saw the bullet point stuff that the WNBA and WNBPA release. I bookmarked it, and I said to myself, I'm going to cover this on live stream. Today's Friday. I told you I was live streaming today, so here we are, and we got the mock draft to cover as well. So let's go ahead and get into these bullet points. I promise you, I've seen some tweets of some of the headlines out of this. I believe some of the headlines out of this document, but I will be reading this live first time with you guys. Okay, so without further ado, see if that works. Control. Let's see what happens. Is this zoomed? Control, right? Oh, there we go. It's loading. Okay, boom. That's a little too close. Okay, these I believe are the main points. So they call this, the documents called the key elements of the tentative collective bargaining agreement. So these really are some of the main points or some of the things to look for in the new CBA. Me being the way I am, me being the person I am, I want to see I'm really more so interested in the fine print. You know what I mean? The key elements are usually, the attention grabbing headlines or whatnot, the clickbait type headlines and whatnot. Not in a malicious sense, but I really do want to see the fine print in some of these things, because I was looking at some of the headlines of the new CBA dropping and what it means after housing is provided for 3 years, for the next 3 years for all players, and then after 2029, which I don't think is a bad move, but it also, to me, it's like it's a slow ushering of players towards, I guess, them recouping some of that money back and making those paychecks a little bit shorter. I think the argument, or not even necessarily the argument, but the negotiations, especially coming from the WNBA and the NBA side, is that we were giving y'all 66,000 to 100,000 last season. So you can't say that, you weren't getting by. I don't know. I feel like they're making that. They're like, hey, you guys are getting much bigger paychecks, so now you can't complain about the amenities, if you will, because now you have the money. So now, since we're gonna leave you guys wanted the money. Okay, well, now you have to fend for yourself a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So the NBA kind of smart for that. They're like, okay, we're gonna cut you the check, get off of our backs. That's kind of the vibe I get from that. They're really like ushering the players out to use, I guess, more of their paycheck, which to me is this is why I wanted $500,000 minimum. I wanted $500,000 minimum contracts. I wanted the average to be 650 to 750, because I know they're going to try and probably find some ways to reduce some of that money that they're adding now to the league. And once again, as I talked about in the last live stream, we have to understand that this type of CBA they should have been on. I know they were getting kind of shitty CBAs up until this point, but this is the level of CBA that they should have had. So if you look at it from that point of view, if you look at it in the context of even when they were before the hype, even before this wave, right? This new 2024 wave, class of 2024 wave, if you will. Even before this is the type of money that they should have been making in that 2020 CBA, right? So if you look at it in the context of this is a CBA, this is what a standard CBA is supposed to look like, and they just upped their game a little bit, especially in the past couple of years, then really you can make the argument that it's still somewhat subpar. Because now what happens is, as you're pushing the players to more expenses and you're keeping them with a CBA that's relatively standard, there's still going to be a lot of not losses, but there are going to be a lot of tax. Well, yeah, basically losses. There's going to be a lot of tax off of that contract anyway. But I know the argument from the WNBA and the NBA is going to be, you guys have the money now. You see what I'm saying? So really, what it really comes down to is who the hell is going to be hooping. You have to hoop. Now you have to be on your charismatic-ish so you can maybe pick up a couple of endorsements. You got to find a way to connect with the audience, connect with the viewing fan base, connect with not even just the WNBA's fan base. You got to find a way to connect with other sports fan bases. You know, you got to bring in viewers. You have to, at the very least, I could say that this new CBA, as much as it's ushering towards, I guess, more responsibility from the players, now it's also ushering in and it's also promoting accountability. Because now it's on you. If you have let's say you now have a decent salary, so now things at the most point will remain even for you, which I think is the good thing about this new CBA. I think it allows players to stay even with their expenses and stuff that they might have to pay for as athletes. They still have to do a good job of managing that stuff. But I think with these new contracts, they will at least be able to stay even and maybe keep a little bit above even. But what this now does is it's basically an incentive to up their level of competition, up their level of skill. Because now, how are you going to max out? Your paycheck's going to be the same. It's going to be standard according to the CBA and stuff like that. How do you add on to that? So if you're just going to be about even or a little bit above even, or even maybe teetering below even, how are you going to gain more assets to the standard that you already have? All of that is going to come from your, when I say on court, I'm including the off court endorsements as well, but because that's how you get the off court endorsements, right? All of that is going to come from what you do on court, if you will. So now it's on the player. Now you want that endorsement deal. Well, guess what? You want the brand to work with you and whatnot. You got to make sure that you're hooping. You got to make sure that you're putting up numbers, that you're all WNBA. You got to make sure that your game is flashy enough that people actually want to watch you and whatnot. So in terms of just what I know about the headlines of the CBA, this is actually promoting a higher level of comp and skill in the WNBA. Because to me, again, this is a good CBA. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's a standard that they should have had. Again, I'm looking at it in that context. But now, because they have a relatively standard CBA, a relatively standard paycheck, now it's on you. Now it's on the players to actually get active on court now. And this is the entire reason I wanted, higher minimum salaries, because I'm thinking, I'm coming from the standpoint of, well, if you have higher minimum salaries, you're already making the competition increase even more so, because now more players want to, roll into the W. I think there are players not playing in the W that can still make, even not being star players overseas, I think they can still collect a nice paycheck that might be a little bit above minimum. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure somebody will drop a money article about the minimum salary in comparison to some of these players overseas. So that I'll just wait on that. But I think if you had that minimum salary somewhere around 450 to maybe $500,000, you're drawing in so much more competition from around the world that the on-court product has to intensify. It has to grow exponentially. The on-court product gets better overnight. You'd probably see mad trainers get hired just like that, because they have to find advantages that would put them above the rest of not just the players in this country and coming out of college, but around the world. So my initial reaction to this new CBA, I think it's pushing the players it's pushing the players and also uplifting the comp. So that's a good thing. But that's my little piece. before we actually get into this WNBA CBA. So let me just go ahead and read off this article real quick. I swear this thing is sweet, yo. It feels sweeter than the next, but shouts out to the Philippines, bro. They make the best Vita Coco. If you're going to get Vita Coco, make sure that it's from a Southeast Asian country. Make sure from the Philippines. Where was it from before? Thailand? Was it Thailand? Might have been Thailand. No, I'm not tripping. The Philippines one, the Vita Coco from the Philippines is low-key the best one. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into these key elements. Player compensation and revenue sharing. All amounts are based on current league financial. Ooh, why is it moving like this? Why is it moving like this? Please stop. Smaller. There we go. All amounts are based on current league financial projections by 2032. Okay. Based on current league financial projections by 2032. I wonder what that means. I wonder if they home and play. I wonder if they're just like, well, you guys aren't going to see the financials anyway, so we're just going to, what are your projections by 2032, W? I wish you guys would show that. I'm the type to ask, bro. I'm not letting one detail miss me. I'm the type to ask, so what are your projections for 2032? I want to know what the numbers say where you're projected to be in 2032. What do the numbers say? Because there are a lot of draft classes. There's a very high amount. That next draft class coming in. What is it? What is going on with my laptop right now? Give me 1 second. This. Boom, boom. Oh, they made me a copy. That's why. Oh, this is kind of annoying, though. How do I move this? I don't want this here. How do I move this? I don't want the copy of that. It's ugly. See if we can do this again. Damn, I'm taking hella long just to get a bullet point up. Jeez Louise. Or should I just increase it and just leave it like that? Okay. Increase. This laptop is so loud, bro. Oh my gosh. Increase. Small up yourself. Okay. Player compensation and revenue sharing establishes the first comprehensive revenue sharing model in women's professional sports history, featuring unlimited upside for players as the league continues to grow. This is bullet 2. Creates a revenue-based salary directly tied to the league and team revenue growth. Directly tied to league and team revenue growth. Excuse me. The team's salary cap will be set at $7 million in 2026 and is projected to be over $11 million by 2032. 6 years to grow $4 million doesn't initial right off rip doesn't really impress me. $4 million over 6 years doesn't really impress me, but yeah, that doesn't really impress me. Maybe if it was 11 million by 2030, or I like 11 million by 2030, or just 10 million by 2029. Yeah, that doesn't impress me. Team salary cap will be set at $7 million in 2026, and it's projected to be over. I mean, they do say over 11 million at 2032, but you know what that means. That basically means 11 million at 2032. That doesn't impress me. I think that's a little too slow over 6 years, but especially again with the revenue that they're going to be making. That to me is a little slow. And if this is a 7-year CBA deal, by the way, with the option to opt out in year 6, reading this now, there's some things I already think that they're probably going to that year 6 opt out is probably going to be it. Trust, but yeah, I don't like that. I think that's a little too low. Maybe 13 million and 13 million in 2032. I would like that a little bit better. The new system results in significant player salary increases, including maximum 1.4 million in 2026. Oh, projected 2.4 million by 2032. Average of 583,000 in 2026. Projected a 2020 a projected average is 583,000 in 2026. It's not a bad average. Projected to be over 1 million by 2032. Yeah, that's still a little too slow for me. It's still a little too slow for me. Average salary over 1 million in 6 years. I'll take it. I mean, smart on the NBA's part. Very clever on the NBA's part. I'll take it though. Very very smart on the NBA's part. But I would have hoped for these $1 million changes by 2030. You know, in 4 years. I feel 4 years is enough time, especially with the attention that's going to be continuously coming to the game. Minimum 270,000 to 300,000 in 2026 based on years of experience. 380,000 minimum in 2032. Yeah, you see that? That's what I mean. I think it's yeah. Yeah. That's just a little too the growth is too slow for those salary increases. Anyway, rookie scale salaries will also increase significantly in all existing rookie deals. 38 players will be adjusted to align with the new salary scale. I think that's pretty dope. I think that's probably one of the dopest things in the CBA is that the rookies next year, or sorry, the players that were already rookies, which they said were 38 players, will be adjusted to the new CBA. So everyone's paycheck, if you were a rookie last year, is getting bumped up as well. I think that's really dope. Nice to see that they didn't get, or they're not going to get hoed as a result of the new CBA being implemented. So that's good to see. Let's keep going. If we can. Okay. Benefits and league standards. This is going to be important. Sorry, player benefits and league standards. Okay. Player benefits and league standards. All right, what y'all doing for the league now? What are they doing for the league now? Let's see. League provided housing will be available for all players in 2026, 27, and 28. And for players making 500,000 or less in 2029 and 2030. New developmental players will be provided housing in every year. So from 2026 to 2030, they will be provided housing. Okay. League-wide charter air travel, representing a projected investment of more than 300 million over the life of the agreement. Representing a projected investment of more than 300 million over the life of the agreement. 6 years, 7 years. Charter travel. When I did the charter travel math, it costed about my exaggerated number was 35 million. So if I exaggerate that a little bit more, let's say it's 40 million a year for charter travel. 6 times 4, 240. It would be about 240 million for 6 years. Throw on another year, let's just say for that 7th year, that would be about $280 million. So with my exaggerated totals, I arrive at $280 million. The league arrives at more than $300 million over the life of the agreement. If we're factoring in the type of planes they gonna get, the type of charter travel they gonna get, maybe it's more than 300 mil. I think charter travel in those 6 years would be less than maybe inflation, the type of plane they getting gourmet meals and stuff, 5 course meals on the plane. I guess it could be over 300 million. We're in the same ballpark, but even with my exaggerated numbers, it's kind of, well, with more players as well. I wonder if that adds into the factor with more players. Yeah, maybe at least 300 million. Okay, makes sense. Maybe it factors in with the additional players rosters. Maybe, but they could get away with less than 300 million, but better if it's first. Well, hold on. Let me see this. Hold on. Let's just keep reading. My fault. My fault. Let's keep reading because I'm trying to figure out if the charter travel they said is representing a projected investment of more than 300 million over the life of the agreement. Does that include the lodging and stuff like that, the accommodations, the amenities? Let's see if there are any other details to this. In the next bullet, expanded first class travel accommodations for players across league events. I'm guessing the events are for all-star stuff, award shows, or maybe something like that, Hall of Fame type stuff. Huh. Expanded first class travel accommodations for players across league events. So they said F the chart. So they said if y'all gotta come here for All-Star weekend, no charter, but we will put you in first class. If I'm reading that correctly, or sorry, if I'm understanding that correctly, that means no charter travel to get your ass to the All-Star game, but we'll put you in first class. All right, let's keep going. New facility standards requiring teams to provide enhanced training and treatment resources. I mess with that. Get some of these trash owners the hell out of here. And I'll tell you one thing I don't want to see. I don't want to see these shared ass facilities. I don't want to see these community organization facilities. Dog, keep them. I don't want to see them. I want these facilities to be only for the WNBA team. I don't want to see these half YMCA, half WNBA. No. They have to have a key card. And if you don't have the key card, security, get them out of here, please. I don't want to see, I know the Chicago Sky building that complex. I don't want to see no complexes. I want facilities straight for the players. I don't know what type of language is in the fine print of the CBA, but I don't want to see no split complex. I don't want to see no housing. If it's gonna be housing, do it like a Real Madrid where they all got their own rooms at the facility and whatnot. I don't want to see no community center. I'm sorry, F them kids. Give the women their own shit. Give the women their own facility, please. Stop trying to. Oh, we built the WNBA team a facility, but they're piggybacking parts of the city. Nah. Give them their own private ish. That's all I have to say for that. Let's hope the fine print also supports that. Expanded team staffing. Ooh, hold on. This might be for me. Hold on, let me lock in because this my this my field right here. Expanded team staffing requirements, including access to additional physicians, athletic trainers, strength and conditioning coaches, physical and massage therapists, and nutritionists. Okay. All right, man. I mean, if there are gonna be more roles for athletic trainers in the league, you know what I'm saying? I like that. I like that. I like that bullet. That might be my favorite bullet point in this entire CBA. I like that. I can't wait for the fine print. What am I doing? Why did I just do that? I can't wait for the fine print. So basically, more roles for staff members. That kind of explains why the maybe the travel accommodations are more than 300 million. Okay, okay, I mess with it. I mess with it because you're gonna have a lot. You're gonna have a lot more people sitting behind the bench and whatnot, and who have to travel as well, set up stuff for the players. Okay, that's making sense. I can't be mad at that. That's making sense. I did forget that they said, well, they said that at the beginning of the CBA that they were fighting for basically more spots for staff and what was it, staff? They basically staff and trainers. So they did say that at the beginning of or within the CBA negotiations. So shouts out to them for actually getting that in the new CBA as well. Respect for that and get some more job opportunity. Maybe I could find a job. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, there you go on to the next one. Significant increases in team contributions to player 401k retirement accounts. How much were y'all putting in before? This Some of these bullets just make me question what was the standard before. Significant increases? Well, I'd hope so with significant increases to salary. What was the share to the 401k before? Because there were some retired WNBA players saying they don't get a damn thing after they retire from the W, not even medical coverage. That 401k better be better than what we're getting as average Americans. I wonder what that increase is. I wonder if we're going to get the details on these type of increases and whatnot. Enhanced life insurance benefits totaling more than 700,000 per player. Retired players and current players, or just in the league right now. A one-time recognition payment for a one-time. Let me let me read this shit. A one-time recognition payment for WNBA veterans and retired players based. Oh, why do I keep doing this to the damn page? I'm sorry. I keep zooming in when I'm just trying to move this. Excuse me. One-time recognition payment for WNBA veterans and retired players. Stop. Based on years of service in the league. Oh, this kind of chump change. Oh shit. Oh, these are the type of numbers your company give out when they broke or they trying to save money. You know them companies get hella stingy. Well, at least the companies that don't really want to pay much, but you know them companies get hella stingy when it's time to give you benefits and retired benefits, and you know they get hella stingy, bro. Listen to these numbers. One time recognition, a one time. That's gonna change in the next CBA. 100,000 for retirees with 12 plus years of service. So I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing that I don't think that helps the veteran problem in the WNBA, or what I believe to be the veteran problem in the WNBA. I don't think that's going to help. Now you got player 12 years of service and putting up jack. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna help the damn veteran problem. Alexis Morris, I'm sorry, but 100,000 to retirees with 12 plus years of service, 50,000 for retirees with 8 to 11 years of service. It's really not a lot of money. I mean, it's something, but it's not a lot of money. 30,000 for retirees with 5 to 7 years of service. And I think that's it. Wow. That's not a lot. I mean, it's something. By the time they get that, If are you retiring or are you out of the league to where you can get that one-time payment? You probably have to retire. Tiffany Hayes, what a clutch move back to the pros. What a clutch move. This makes me think of Tiffany Hayes. Shorty retired, got a call back from the Aces, got a call from the Aces, changed her mind about retirement, was on the Aces in 2024. Yeah, was on the Aces in 2024. Got picked up in the expansion draft to the Valkyries. Now she will be getting a much higher salary. And also for her years of service, she gonna get that one-time payment. This makes me think of Tiffany Hayes. What a finesse. What a finesse. Might have been the move of her life to come back. To call off her retirement and come back. Insane, insane call. Game-changing call. Shouts out Tiffany Hayes, because that just made me think of her. Because Shorty was retired, remember? And she came back. Y'all remember that? Bruh. And she actually stepped back into some money. Crazy. Expanded next bullet. Expanded family planning benefits for players and their spouses/partners. Expanded family planning. So what is that? Like maternity help and stuff? Medical help and stuff? This is the LGBT this is LGBT power kicking in right here. I think they recognize that, a lot of spouses and partners are women, so they expanded family planning benefits that hopefully benefits them as well. That's 200 IQ. Whoever put that in, I figured that would probably be the Players Association doing that. 200 IQ. That's good to see. Let's go on to the next slide. All right. I see hella bullet points here. What the hell's about to happen? I see hella bullet points here. So, okay. So, this is where they try to get us again and just entice us with the money. Oh, wait. I think we have another bullet point for the player benefit expended. Okay. Expanded mental health coverage, including a specific mental health reimbursement benefit. Expanded mental health coverage, including a specific mental health reimbursement benefit. So is that like mental health day? Like paid mental health day or something like that? That's what I'm thinking. That's just how it sounds. Paid mental health day, or mental out for personal reasons, or out for mental health purposes. Something like that. I can see ESPN, co-signing that crap, putting it on out personal reasons, but instead of personal reason, mental health. And then maybe you can still get paid if you use your mental health day. I'm not really sure about that bullet, but I might be picking up what they're putting down. Anyway, now on to performance and award bonuses. What do y'all think of this? What do y'all think of these? What do y'all think of these new features of the CBA? Y'all rocking with it? Does it sound standard? Does it sound advanced? Does it sound subpar? Let me know where you guys are with at least the key elements of the new CBA. Because again, me personally, I'm waiting on the fine print and everything. But what do you all think of the changes so far? How do they sound to you guys? If I had to say, I think I already said at the beginning, even before reading this, but some of the changes do sound kind of standard. It's giving off the least the league should do. It's giving off, I F it here. That's, yeah, it's just really standard. It feels really standard as to what the league should have been doing. maybe my expectations of the WNBA and the NBA are higher than most. Maybe I'm holding them to a much higher accountability level, or maybe I'm holding them to a standard that I don't even think is that strenuous. I don't even think is that crazy. This is a standard they should have had. It almost reminds me of the trophy, the championship trophy. You should have been remodeled that trophy. Trophy not even bigger than my forearm, and it took you till 2023 to make the trophy bigger and make the Finals MVP trophy like look a little bit more appealing. So that's kind of what this new CBA is looking like to me. It looks like they finally decided to make the trophy bigger. You know, that's just me though. You all let me know what y'all think in the comments as well. Let me know what you think in the chat. Anyway, performance and award bonuses. I guess we could call this the fun part. All league and postseason awards will receive substantial increases in bonus compensation, including for 2026. WNBA champion, 60,000 per player. That's up from what used to be 22,000. I like that. Damn. So if you run off a couple championships, it's about 120. Let's say you go back to back, it's 120 on your season. I like that. WNBA champion runner up, 20,000 per player, up from 8,500. It's not bad. This is good. This is reminding me a little bit of tennis. Because tennis, you could be runner up. You're not gonna get that crazy prize money for being the champ, but you're gonna get a nice pretty penny. Tennis players get a nice penny for making it to the quarterfinals. Hell, round of 16, you could get a nice quarter too. Now you make it to the semifinals. Hell, you make it runner up for the Grand Slam matches and whatnot. You get a nice little coin. It's kind of reminding me of tennis right now. But teams eliminated in the second round, 10,000 per player, up from 3,000. Boy, they got hella specific. I'm gonna just say what the range is, up from 3,000. So $7,000 difference. Teams eliminated in the first round, 5,000 per player, up from about 1,000, up from about 2,000. All WNBA first team, 30,000 per player, up from 10,000. All WNBA second team, 15,000 per player, up from 5. All defensive, I forgot they're only first team and second team, all W. All defensive first team, 15,000, up from 1,500. That's fire. That's fire. I like that. A little bit more incentive on the defense, because this is where you can manipulate the game right here. This is where, remember, we talked about the increase in competition. This is where you can start using using these incentives to increase the comp level. I like that. I really like that. I like these gains. I don't like the fact that offense has a little bit more. That's kind of pissing me off. I think these ones should be around even, or at least on the same proportion that you were doing it for offense for all WNBA first team. I don't think you should just be slacking the defensive, because all defensive second team is 7,000 per play. Okay, so that's their excuse. You see what I'm saying? Okay, let me explain this. All defensive first team, I'll just go through all of these again. All W first team is 30,000 per player, up from 10,000, right? All WNBA second team is 15,000 per player, up from 5,000. All defensive first team is 15,000, up from 1,500. And all defensive second team is 7,000, up from 0. So there was no payoff for all defensive second team prior to this new CBA. So to me, this kind of feels like a way to save the money where you can save the money. Because there was nothing last season, well, we're not going to throw too much at it now. I don't really rock with that. You should have just given the same 7,000 when all the rest are double digit, all the rest are 5 figures. Why not just make that 10,000? Why not if you're going to make the compromise, well, hey, we didn't even have anything for this last season. Here's 7,000. To me, that's kind of being cheap. You're trying to use these incentives to up the, or you should be at least thinking of using these incentives to up the competition. So why be cheap on stuff like this? This is important. Things like these incentives, these are the things that change the game. So why be cheap? I would have much rather liked if maybe all defensive second team was sitting at 10,000. You feel me? Don't use the excuse of, oh well, there wasn't anything for it last year, so I'll just give y'all, throw y'all 7 bands. Don't be cheap now, you know. Anyway, next bullet. All rookie team, 5,000 per player, up from 1,500. Most valuable player gets 60,000, up from 15,000. Defensive player of the year, 30,000, up from 5,000. I like it. Rookie of the year, 15,000, up from 5,000. Good. Sixth player of the year, 15,000, up from 5,000. Most improved player, 15,000, up from 5,000. Not bad. Sportsmanship award, 10,000, up from 5,000. So, wait a minute. The more opponents I help up off the wait, hold on. Wait, what the fuck? Hold on, wait. So if I block if I block a player's shot, if I block an opponent's shot and help him off the floor, maybe I could get 17K. Wait. Wait, so you get more for helping the player up off the floor that you just blocked or maybe stole the ball for. I'm being so childish right now. What happened if you like pickpocket someone, they fall down, and you grab the ball and help them up? Just give me my 17. I need my 17. What the hell? You can make more off the sportsmanship award, technically speaking, than defensive second team. I don't know if I'm rocking with that. I don't know if I'm rocking with that. Why not keep the sportsmanship award at 5K and then up defensive second team to 10K? Somebody got the money wrong right there. You could have brought sportsmanship award down 2K and put that 2K towards defensive second team. 9,000 per player, and then the sportsmanship award is about 8K. How the hell you got a sportsmanship award worth more than the damn, technically speaking, worth more than defensive second team? That's wild. WNBA Finals MVP, 30,000, up from 5,000. Commissioner's Cup Most Valuable Player, 10,000, up from 5,000. All-Star Game MVP, 20,000, up from 5,000. This is important right here. This is adding some incentive to the All-Star Game. All-Star Game participant, nice little 15,000 bonus, up from 2,000. I like that. Incentives to make the All-Star team, dope. Maybe we have to also figure out the fan voting, so it's not, because I think the fans, player they're supporting, they're gonna try to up their player pockets and stuff like that. So All-Star Game participant, damn, I feel bad for our rooks in DC with Kiki and Sony making the All-Star team last year, and they got a BS incentive. They got some bullshit. They got They got 2,500 for making the All-Star last year, and now it would have been 15. Damn. Imagine how much that would have helped with players with their contract and their salary last season. But anyway, All-Star 3-point contest winner, 20,000, up from 2,500. Y'all giving All-Star all these incentives, but the regular season ish, I would have hoped to see a little bit more for the regular season, stats. But All-Star 3-point contest participant, 10,000, up from 1K. I feel like that money could have been better used for the regular season stuff. All Star Skills Competition winner, 15K, up from 2,500, and All Star Skills Competition participant, 7,500, up from 1K. Beginning in 2027, these bonus amounts will increase at the rate of growth in the salary cap. Okay, so these bonuses increase as the salary cap goes up as well. Okay. Okay, I can rock. I can rock with that. I can rock with that. It's not bad. That's good to see. That's good to see. So these incentives will be growing. Okay. You know what? I'll fair play. Fair play. Fair play. Fair play. I'll give it to him. Fair play. All right. This is the very last section right here of the key elements. This is roster building, or what they call it, roster control, roster construction and free agency. Here we go. Very last section. Requires teams to carry 12 players on their roster. Would have hoped for 13, man. Well, 12 players technically, it does offer a little bit more flexibility, and at least it is the standard now that you have to have 12 players. So it really is the opening of one spot, because technically you could carry 11 players. So now you have to carry 12. I can't be mad at that. Creates, new bullet, next bullet, creates 2 new additional developmental spots per team that do not count against the salary cap. Huge. Huge. My question is, do those teams get to travel? Do those players also travel along with the team, like sit on the bench and whatnot, or sit behind the bench or something like that? Or do they get the option to travel, or do they stay, home in the home city and just work out and train and whatever? Those would be my questions for that. That's probably in the fine print. But that's so dope to see. 2 developmental spots. So technically you're carrying a roster of about 14. Excuse me. So really, if you're making, depending on how many picks you have in a draft, if you're making about, call it 3-4 picks in the draft, you're making about 3 to 4 picks in the draft. 4 picks in the draft. You have about 3 spots maybe to play around with. Training camp contracts, obviously the cuts are still going to be there, but at least you have about 3 spots to play around with in the draft now, which is not bad when constructing the roster. That's not bad. Starting in 2027, players with 7 or more years of service cannot be designated as core players. I think I saw that earlier. Accelerated pathways to maximum contracts for star players on rookie deals. Oh, so this is really the generational talent rule. Is let's get that gen talent pay type rule. Accelerated pathways to maximum. So if the rookie star player come in hooping like that, we're gonna pay. I like that. That's an incentive for some of these college. That also boosts the college game a little bit. It boosts the college players' development, because if they can come in and kill, guess what? You on the fast track to a max contract. Great incentive. I like it. A new season-ending injury exception will allow teams additional salary cap flexibility to replace injured players. Okay, cool. So kind of hardship contracts, but you're probably able to sign that player maybe for a full year or something like that. I like that. Pregnancy and childbirth salary cap exception. Great. Teams must obtain player consent before trading a pregnant player. The Las Vegas Aces rule. I like that. That developmental spot, the two developmental spots opening up is huge. That might be my favorite part of this new CBA. Knowing now that they get to keep maybe 3 additional spots open, or they now have 3 one official new spot, but two unofficial spots open now for developmental players. That's huge. That is so great. You get to retain some of the players in the draft, or maybe sign some of the players that you're watching in training camp. I like that. I really like that a lot. Those some damn near the reconstruction of some of the little things in this CBA are almost more important than the money. You know, they're really, in a sense, they're more important than the money and the increases in the money and stuff like that, because roster sizes were a thing. The chartered flights finally being codified were a thing. The facilities being codified now are finally getting, are finalized now. They have to happen. The two developmental spots opening up is so great because, hey man, the additional staff positions on the teams, those things damn near excite me more than the money, because now you're really adding to the basketball, bro. And the incentives, the paying incentives, obviously with the awards, the rewards and whatnot, that's huge as well. I would have hoped to see a little bit more on the incentives, especially in terms of the regular season awards. I like the bumps in the incentives. I'm not saying that they're bad. I would have liked to see a little bit more though, especially for the regular season. Making more on the sportsmanship award than defensive second team is kind of wild, but I like it. I can't complain. I really can't complain. I think I like the logistics a little bit outside of the monetary stuff. I like the logistics of this. It's not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad. This is good. 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 in terms of the new CBA key elements. I'm still waiting on the fine print, but I really like some of the stuff in this new CBA. I think it's going to add to the competition. I think it's going to add to the competition and the culture of WNBA basketball. But that's going to do it for this live stream. I appreciate you guys checking out this live stream. I guess it was important for us to get this out of the way, especially since the tentative agreement was signed off on today, and they also dropped these key elements. So I think it was important to drop this live stream, even though I did want to get into the mock draft, but we'll probably do that tomorrow. So if you guys are going to be here, keep it locked on the channel. We're going to be doing our mock draft tomorrow, probably sometime after all the NCAA March Madness games, because, first round, I don't expect too many upsets. The first round is kind of the more boring rounds. I think in the men's side in the first round is more exciting. Usually the women's teams with the higher seeds, they handle business in the first round. There aren't too many upsets and whatnot. So we'll get on that later. But Saturday, tomorrow, we will be live streaming. I'm going to be doing the mock draft then. I appreciate you all checking out this live stream, engaging with the content, leaving likes, whether you're in the chat, whatever, watching for how many minutes. I appreciate all of it. Make sure you guys take it easy. Stay blessed out there. Stay safe. And I will see you guys when I see you guys. It's your boy Hendrix. Peace.